No problem. All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here, taking time to be here. Honestly, with Hazel taking over as a Secretary General, life has become much more hectic for myself. With work, a lot more work, and a lot more things I have to worry about, and also the need to look after my family, my granny above 80, and my two boys aged 4 and 5. I'm not going to pretend to say this is easy for both of us to be in the CEC. The one thing I dare say is that we have a lot more white hairs since then, and hopefully not less hair in due course. But looking at Mr. Sebastian, Mr. Tan Chi Kian, Mr. Keng San, Mr. Yip, Mr. Kwan, Mr. Chio, Uncle William, and many more, they have served many, many more years than many of us. They've been doing this for no other reason other than for the next generation. So that in the last election, there's NSP, to give Singaporeans a chance and a choice to vote. Now that they have done their parts, and many are still doing their parts, I know I have to do better. It was 24 years ago that NSP was founded. I hope that 24 years later, I can sit back telling my sons that we do our part during this stage of the nation building. It is with this intent that I embark on this journey. I know the footprints I make are a continuation of many before me. Although my footprints, together with many others, may not be identifiable, hopefully they will create a trail for many more to come. I hope some, specifically the younger ones, will eventually have the opportunity to serve the nation in Parliament. I hope they will serve with the same dedication as our past flag bearers of the party who place national interests above all else, not party politics and not personal interests. While there is consensus amongst current parliamentarians in the last sitting that the focus is about serving the people and placing national interests above all else, the real litmus test will come when they debate on ministerial salary and MP allowance. Will it continue to be packed to private sector, pay for fear that we cannot find the right candidates with the right capabilities? Will it be argued to be packed to an inflated US president's pay based on the privileges accorded, like Air Force One? The ministerial salary and MP allowance will set the tone for the type of leadership Singapore wants. It will affect the trust and unity between the leadership and the people that we need for nation building at this stage. I hope the spirit of patriotism demonstrated by this Parliament helps to set a sterling example to inspire Singaporeans, young and old, that there is no sacrifice when called upon to serve our people. It should be with this key intent that the remuneration should be based on. Finally, building people. This has always been part of NSP's DNA. NSP has been about giving ordinary Singaporeans, like many of us, who are prepared to stand up, a chance to contribute to nation building. We will continue this effort in the Policy Committee to start building a group of people who are passionate about policies that make Singapore a better place for all. So what are the strategies to achieve these objectives? Act on short-term problems while thinking about long-term problem would lead us to a position where certain long-term challenge may become intractable. In the recent Parliament sitting, some MPs have highlighted an inadequacy of housing, healthcare, and public transport, and urged the government to do more. Doing more is good, but is it enough? We should understand resources are always limited. We should think long-term, act long-term. The government should be asked, what is our population growth plan? Without a projected population plan, the ministries will be forced to act short-term, and infrastructural development will always lag behind population growth. We understand the difficulty of sudden expansion of healthcare facilities as medical system and staff members need time to be developed. And we understand the danger of a sudden surge in supply of government flats at current high prices, which may see their prices tumbling due to an oversupply and during a possible impending economic downturn. These governments need to commit to a population growth plan. The ministries need a population growth plan to base their plan on, and not be allocated the budget and be asked to do their best. There was a 6.5 million population plan that was floated previously. So what is our current population growth plan? Why is this such an important piece at this stage? Our population growth is closely intertwined with our economic growth, as the main bulk of our past economic growth is achieved via labour input. The danger comes when we reach a near saturated population and our economic growth is still reliant on population growth to increase our GDP. In the long run, to achieve the government's goal that every Singaporean worker hold a skilled, well-paid job, we must start thinking, worrying, losing sleep, experimenting, and developing our next economic growth engines. We need a bold response now, as we will most certainly reach the saturated population target within the next decade. We need to reform our education system. We need to reshape our business landscape. We need to review our talent pool deployment with the intention to spur productivity growth, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. After the last election, there's this new norm. So what is this new normal about? It should be about building something that lasts, like a clock. Our country must last. Everyone in the country, from an ordinary Singaporean to the Prime Ministers, must be able to tell the time. Must be able to tell whether this policy is populist or good for Singapore, or the politician is trying to score a political point, or selflessly fighting for ordinary Singaporean. It is time we as Singaporeans and as voters learn to read the clock, rather than leave it to a few clock readers to tell us the time. Personally, we have with us a Prime Minister who has the right political weight, the right passion, to set the right vision with the right economics, right policy, and right politics. But we must start to build a system that does not depend on anyone or a few individuals to get things right for Singapore. We must collectively have the understanding and knowledge to decide what we want and what is best for Singapore. We Singaporeans must own our future. Below is a snapshot of the activities in the next 6 months. We will be holding a forum on the 3rd December. So if you're interested, please sign up or let us know. We'll be letting you know the venue subsequently. Subsequently, we'll be also forming teams to work on response to the parliamentary budget. Apart from that, we'll also be doing policy discussion during open house. The other activities that are lined up, as indicated there, we hope that we could have developed policy debate to eventually to have mock parliament debate. We also want to form teams that could look at policy paper and as well as looking at response to policies on the go. We also form a policy email groups, and hopefully in the long run, we will very much want to develop an apps that people could use it to interact with us. Finally, we'd like to lay the rules of engagement for the committee. All right, basically be bold, be passionate, come in with the ideas that you have, argue them strongly, but be open-minded as well. Because when it comes to policies, if we get it wrong, like we've seen, some of the effects could actually be lasting. So we have to be careful about it. And we also urge everybody who comes in and join us and participate in the debate to be also receptive as well. Finally, should you like to sign up or find out more, please look up for me during the break. Thank you.